In Great Britain, a great Tory rebellion is brewing. The plot basically is to replace the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak ahead of the upcoming general election. For weeks now, we've been keeping you on top of the developments, but the developments from the last 1 week confirm that Rishi Sunak is in trouble. A double trouble, in fact. Not only has his party just suffered 2 resounding by-election defeats, a conspiracy is being hatched by some members of his party to remove him. Let's not forget, Britain fell into recession at the end of last year. And this undermines one of Sunak's 5 core promises that he would fix the UK's growth. And so as the troubles continue to mount, can Sunak turn things around? Or will the Tory rebels cause another party coup? Let's break this down for you. Reports say that behind the scenes in Westminster, Sunak's colleagues, even the most publicly loyal ones, are in full campaign mode. Not for the general election, but for a competition within the Conservative Party. You see, they all want to be the next Prime Minister and they all see Rishi Sunak as a thorn in the flesh. They are all trying to put on a charm offensive, trying to do whatever they can to win favours. It's like a soap opera playing out. It's all very dramatic. Last Monday, Secretary of State for Business and Trade, Kemi Badenoch, held a get-together for Conservative MPs. More than 60 gathered in her office for the launch of a document outlining how Brexit had been a success. Now, reports say that those present included Badenoch's allies, Brexiteer MPs and several others. In attendance was Penny Mordaunt, the leader of the Commons and the likely candidate to take on Badenoch in the next leadership contest. Yes, at this point, I am talking about the contest within the Tories and not the contest for the general election. You see, they are all trying to determine who will succeed Sunak as the Tory leader if he fails to win the upcoming national election. It's like they already know that they will lose the polls, and so they have given up in a way. They'd rather save themselves than the party, let alone the country. But I digress. Let's just get back to the Tory rebellion. Here's a list of the leaders eyeing the Tory throne. First up, Kemi Badenoch. As mentioned earlier, she hosted a get-together at her office, which was really a way to test the waters. She is the Business and Trade Secretary, like I said. Kemi is being seen as the front runner to succeed Rishi Sunak. At last year's Conservative Party conference, she passionately told the members to stop playing fantasy politics and start focusing on Labour. Her speech resulted in shouts of Kemi for PM. Some of those plotting to depose Sunak see her as the most viable candidate to take over. She says she has no such intentions. She has even told the rebel plotters, stop messing around and get behind the leader. But you must know, Kemi consistently comes out as the favourite cabinet minister in the polls of the Tory members. And what's more, she has not ruled out a run at the top job. She says you never really know until you are in the moment. Our next candidate, Penny Mordaunt, the leader of the House of Commons, she may be one of the most junior cabinet ministers, but her supporters believe she would come through the middle in any leadership contest triggered by Sunak's downfall. She has a higher public profile and approval rating. After Boris Johnson's downfall, in fact, Penny was one of the most popular candidates with Tory activists. All the Tory leaders vying to take over, Penny is not even hiding it. Reports say she is constantly in the tea room, meaning she is courting MPs in case Sunak falls. She has told several people in private, in fact, that the party should not rule out a change in leadership before the election. She says she does not support a change in leader, but reports say she is getting ready for that probability. Next up, Suella Braverman. Her explosive departure from government last year set her up as the most obvious challenger to Rishi Sunak. She has mocked Sunak. She has called him weak and lacking in basic leadership qualities. She has even accused him of betraying the country. Reports say she fundamentally believes in leadership change. Since leaving office, she has written several articles for the Daily Telegraph, which is considered as the house journal of the Conservative Party. This week, she wrote that Islamists, extremists and anti-Semites were now running Britain. Could she replace Rishi Sunak is the question. Reports indicate she cannot. The others are much better placed than her to win over fellow MPs. Still, she seems like a challenger. But perhaps the most surprising entry on this list is Grant Shapps, the Defence Secretary. Reports say that while Grant has conspicuously been loyal to the Prime Minister, in private, he has been networking intensively. This includes regular drinks in his ministerial office with colleagues interested in defence. They are calling these sessions Schnapps with Shapps. What's more, a WhatsApp group that was created in 2022 for his bid to replace Boris Johnson has been rebooted, and the name of this group is Shapps Leadership Action Plan. Reports say he also has a spreadsheet. It is meant to track engagement with colleagues. All this hard work to see if he has a chance to replace Sunak. Well, they say keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And in Sunak's case, he does not even need to work in that direction because his friends are working harder. To his credit, he has calmed the markets after Liz Truss, but he has found it rather difficult to develop policies that can recharge Britain's growth. And as far as the people of Britain are concerned, Sunak has failed. He promised to cut the inflation rate in half, reduce public debt, stop the flow of boats across the channel, and cut waiting times at hospitals. He has failed as far as all of these promises are concerned, except reducing inflation. But the Bank of England deserves credit for that one. So now the question emerges, can Rishi Sunak win the upcoming election, or will he be ousted by his scheming friends even before the public decides? We will have to wait and watch for that. The truth is, tech giants do as they please, and they have grown way too powerful. In fact, some are even bigger than an entire country's economy. I'm talking about Nvidia. If you were fond of video games while growing up, you may have seen the logo often enough. Well, that was just the beginning. The chip maker has now become the third largest company in the United States. That is in terms of market capitalization. But that is not the surprising part. It is a fact that this company is now worth more than most other countries' GDP in the world, except for 11. You heard that right. Nvidia just enjoyed a meteoric rise in the market. The chipmaker stock closed at $788 on Friday. It is now worth $1.97 trillion. And this figure is greater than the GDP of every nation in the world except for only 11. It has, in fact, surpassed Australia, South Korea, even Russia. This is according to February International Monetary Fund data put together by Forbes. On Thursday, Nvidia recorded the biggest one-day valuation jump in all of US history. Over the past 12 months, shares of Nvidia have climbed 238%. The growth comes hand in hand with an increased appetite for AI. Nvidia saw a huge interest in its graphics processing units, which are used by other companies basically to develop artificial intelligence applications. You see, there is a huge appetite for artificial intelligence. Despite all fears around its unchecked use, Nvidia has made the most of it, to the point that it beat economies like Russia in valuation. Could it grow even further? There is growing rage against stray dogs in India. Over the weekend, a 2-year-old girl was allegedly mauled to death. It happened in Delhi. Reports say the 2-year-old was outside her home, and that's when 4 to 5 dogs attacked her. She was dragged for several meters. The girl was rushed to the hospital, but she died. The child's parents are pointing the finger at some people in the neighborhood. The parents want strict action against those who feed the dogs. Now, earlier this month, a 10-year-old girl was mauled to death by a pack of 7 dogs. This was in Uttar Pradesh. The girl was grazing goats with a friend, and that's when the stray dogs attacked her. She was severely injured and later succumbed to the injuries. Now, the question is, who is to be blamed for these deaths? There is a growing online debate, basically a clash between two sides. One wants stricter action against stray dogs, also possible action against those who feed stray dogs. And the other side wants to protect the stray. There is no right or wrong in this story. What there is a want for a sustainable solution. India's capital city records over 1,300 dog bites a month. In the year 2023, in fact, 27.5 lakh people were bitten by dogs across India. Among the many who died because of dog attacks in 2023 was Parag Desai, the head of tea company Wagh Bakri. Also, an 11-year-old autistic boy died from Kerala's Muzappilangar, and a toddler in Noida. Incidents like these have made parents scared. Many don't want to send their child out to play. And can you even blame them? Residents groups in societies are scratching their heads for a solution. How do you tackle this? Let's just start with the basics. Why do dogs bite? Experts will tell you a healthy dog bites because 1, they are in heat, or 2, they are with their litter and feel the need to protect their puppies, or 3, dogs bite when they feel threatened. Can you stop a dog from biting? When it comes to a pet dog, you can always muzzle them if you must feel the need to do that. But how do you go around muzzling stray dogs? Also, should you be doing that? So what's the solution? How do you stop dog bites? Experts suggest reducing stray population is a good starting point. As per rough estimates, there are 60 million stray dogs in India. The growing population makes it hard to monitor them. It also helps explain why India accounts for over 1/3 of the world's rabies deaths. We are looking at anything between 18,000 to 20,000 deaths every year. So how do you reduce the population of strays? Singapore and Japan have been able to check the population of strays by sterilizing dogs. How do you deal with the problem? Do you cull dogs? India allowed that until 2001, but now laws in India are more animal friendly, and rightly so. Compassion for animals is ingrained in the Indian Constitution. Article 51AG states that it is the duty of every Indian citizen to, quote, protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures, quote unquote. The solution does not lie in culling dogs or villainizing those who feed dogs, in victim blaming, or in shaming those who are concerned about the safety of their loved ones. Local authorities need to step in here. They must strike the right balance. They must ensure that animal rights are protected. Also, people's lives are protected. In the year 2023, the Kerala High Court held the state government responsible for ensuring that municipal bodies are conducting mass vaccination drives and also building shelters for stray dogs. Also last year, the Delhi High Court asked the local municipal body to take appropriate action to tackle the issue of stray dogs. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has held the state responsible for paying compensation in cases of dog bites. The court also gave details of the compensation, a minimum of 10,000 rupees per teeth mark and 20,000 rupees per 0.2 centimeter of wound. No amount of money can compensate for a young life, of course. Municipal bodies must ensure it does not come down to that.